I am Sergeant Tracy Heisler Pace. I'm the Public Affairs Officer. I would like to introduce the Colonel of the Florida Highway Patrol, Colonel David Byerton.
This is a tragic day for the state of Florida, for the men and women of the Florida Highway Patrol and the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. Today, the Florida Highway Patrol experienced a great loss. Trooper Chelsea Richard was killed in the line of duty this afternoon while working a traffic crash on I-75 in Marion County. Trooper Richard, 30 years old, was a 9-year veteran of the Florida Highway Patrol. Trooper Richard chose a life of public service and joined the patrol in 2005 as a member of the 111th Recruit Class. She graduated on January 12, 2006. She was assigned to Troop B Ocala. She leaves behind her 4-year-old son, her father in New York, her mother in Charlotte County, Florida, brother in Maryland, and grandparents in Ocala. Just after 2 p.m., as Trooper Richard was finishing up a crash investigation and talking with Mr. John Dugan, tow truck driver, a multi-vehicle crash occurred in the southbound lanes of I-75 in the same area. The southbound pickup truck traveled onto the east shoulder and struck the Florida Highway Patrol vehicle, Trooper Richard, Mr. Dugan, and George Robert Phillips, as they stood on the shoulder of the road next to the tow truck. Trooper Richard and Mr. Dugan died on the scene. Mr. Phillips was transported in critical condition to Ocala Regional Hospital, where he remains. The crash remains under investigation at this time. As of now, there were a total of 7 vehicles involved, 2 deaths, and 1 critically injured. Charges are pending as the investigation is ongoing. Florida Highway Patrol's Public Affairs Officer, Sergeant Tracy Pace, will provide more information as it becomes available. Again, we extend our deepest sympathies and condolences to the families of Trooper Richard, Mr. John Dugan, Mr. George Phillips, and everyone involved. Please keep everyone's families in your thoughts and in your prayers. We'd also like to thank the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the Ocala Police Department, and the Marion County Fire Department for their support during this situation.
Do we know if it was raining at the time at all?
I do not know at this time.
Did you guys say that I-70 that she was based here, the trooper?
Yes, she worked out of the Ocala district.
So she was investigating another crash at the time? And
Yes, sir.
How many vehicles were involved in that crash? Was it a single call or?
I believe there were 2.
Okay.
And then, so then how many were in that second crash? Would that be 5, or did that include the troopers?
The crash that involved the
The second.
fatalities. She was working an original crash on the shoulder in the median that had 2 vehicles. Behind her, the second, or the crash that began this whole chain of events has 7 vehicles involved.
So a total of 9 cars.
Well, the 2 she was working with, and then the 7.
7. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There were, initially they mentioned that it may have been a pickup truck or something carrying a trailer that hit her. Are you familiar with what vehicle actually struck her in the tow truck?
It was a pickup truck with some sort of trailer, and this is a giant, long, in-depth situation where it's going to take some time to kind of get everything evened out. And so probably in a day or so, possibly we'll know a little bit better the actual chain of events of what exactly happened. Our investigators need to really sit down and go step by step to figure out what exactly happened out there.
At about 8:30, when you're driving by, the highway was still shut down. Is it open now, or what's the status on that?
I will have to look into that. I can get that to you in just a few minutes.
And a normal crash was just 2 cars. It takes you guys several hours to investigate. How long do you think it may take to put the pieces of this together? Several days, weeks, or are we looking at a timeline right now?
Well, with any traffic crash investigation that turns into a traffic homicide investigation, that could be several months. And to put an exact time limit on it, I just cannot say at this time.
The pickup truck, do we know if that driver was swerving to avoid a crash, or if it was a car that hit the truck and sent that truck into the people?
Again, it is all part of what they're going to have to look into. We do not want to release any information that is speculation. We deal with facts. And we need to give our investigators the time to sort that out.
Now, we know that several people have been waiting on the interstate 6, 7 hours at this point, but was there any what was done to help them? We saw people out there holding babies.
We were working with the Department of Transportation in order to get people off the interstate. We were working with the news agency to try and get the information out that the roadway was blocked. We had signs up trying to detour traffic. We were doing everything that we possibly could to get them to an alternate route.
Any problems reported, people maybe running out of gas or having any other medical emergencies out there? They had been out there for so long.
That I do not know.
Any idea how many people could face charges? He had mentioned that maybe there was some charges pending.
We do not know at this time.
And any early indications if any impairment was involved at all in either crash?
We do not know at this time.
The people who were involved in that first crash, they're all safe. They were away from the pedestrian who was hit. Was she one of the people, or that person was involved with the first crash?
Again, that is, we're having to look into that. We do not know. Seriously, this has been a very trying day. There's a lot of things that we need to look into. Right now, the basic thing that we are trying to focus on are the family and the victims. And that is our main focus at this time, is to take care of them.
On a personal note, can you tell us what type of person was the trooper that passed? Can you tell us a little bit about her son, about her, other than just she was a trooper, I would like to know, were you her friend?
I knew Trooper Richard. As a matter of fact, I saw her last Saturday, and she was with her son. And a beautiful mother, a wonderful trooper. Her son is adorable. He was hanging onto his mother's neck, squeezing tight, and I've never seen anything more precious. And that will be my last memory of Trooper Richard.